Have you ever looked at yourself in the quiet of your own mind and asked, do I truly know the worth of the soul that lives inside me? We spend so much of our lives chasing approval, seeking love in the eyes of others, and yet we rarely pause to turn that gaze inward. Tonight, I want you to pause with me. I want you to take a breath and consider the most important question of all. How much do you love yourself? Self-love is not a whisper of vanity. It is the drumbeat of courage that says, I am enough, I am worthy, I am here, and I matter. It is not found in accolades, in the applause of the crowd, or the fleeting praise of strangers. It is discovered in the quiet moments when you choose to honor yourself, when you forgive yourself, when you rise after falling and still say, I am deserving of my own love. Look around you, listen to the rhythm of your heart, and know this truth. The love you give to yourself shapes every thought you think, every choice you make, and every dream you dare to follow. To love yourself is not a luxury, it is a necessity. It is the foundation upon which your courage, your joy, and your freedom are built. And tonight we begin to ask, not in passing, but with intention, do I love myself enough to honor who I am exactly as I am? Before you can pour into the lives of others, you must first turn the warmth of your heart inward. Self-love is not a fleeting feeling or a polite gesture. It is the steady flame that illuminates the darkest corners of your life. It begins with simple acts, speaking kindly to yourself when no one else is watching, forgiving yourself when mistakes are made, and honoring the quiet whispers of your soul that demand recognition. Strength is born not from perfection, but from the courage to embrace all that you are and all that you are still becoming. Too often we look outward for validation, waiting for applause, praise, or affection to tell us we are worthy. But the truth is that the heart of your worth beats within you, not in the approval of strangers. Loving yourself means listening to that heartbeat, even when the world grows loud and chaotic. It is telling yourself in moments of doubt that you are enough, that your struggles, your scars, and your triumphs are all pieces of the magnificent mosaic that is your life. When you love yourself, you cultivate patience for your own journey, for you understand that growth cannot be rushed and healing cannot be demanded. Self-love asks you to stand tall in your own truth, even when it frightens you. It is the voice that says no to what diminishes you, and yes to what elevates your spirit. It is the quiet insistence that your needs, your dreams, and your emotions matter. It is in the way you care for your body, nourishing it with movement and rest, and the way you feed your mind, filling it with wisdom and curiosity. When you nurture yourself in this way, you discover a strength that cannot be borrowed or taken. It is entirely your own. The journey toward loving yourself fully is not always easy. It asks that you confront the shadows of shame, regret, and self-doubt. It asks that you forgive yourself for every time you chose fear over courage, for every time you silenced your own voice. And yet, with each act of forgiveness, each gentle word, each mindful choice, your soul grows stronger. You begin to recognize that self-love is not selfish. It is essential. It is the wellspring from which compassion flows, the anchor that holds you steady, the foundation upon which your life's purpose is built. So today, ask yourself honestly, and ask it boldly, how much do you love yourself? Not the love that is conditional, not the love that waits for someone else to grant it, but the deep, unshakable love that knows your worth without argument. Because when you embrace that love, you step into a life of freedom, courage, and grace. You become the person who can shine for others not out of obligation, but out of abundance. And in loving yourself truly and completely, you discover the greatest strength of all, the power to live authentically, unapologetically, and fully. There is a voice inside you that has been whispering since the day you were born. It is the voice that has witnessed your joys, your fears, your triumphs, and your sorrows. Yet too often we silence it, doubting its power, dismissing its guidance, and allowing the noise of the world to drown it out. But hear me now, your voice is sacred. It is not meant to be hidden, diminished, or ignored. It carries the truth of your being, the wisdom of your experiences, and the light of your spirit. To honor that voice is to honor yourself. When you speak to yourself with gentleness and respect, you create a world that reflects that care. Each word you whisper to your own heart shapes the landscape of your thoughts, your choices, and your dreams. Harsh words, critical thoughts, and self-doubt are like shadows that cloud your path. But affirmations of love, courage, and possibility are beams of sunlight that illuminate the journey ahead. The voice you choose to nurture within is the same voice that will carry you through storms, lift you from despair, and guide you toward your own greatness. Courage is required to speak your truth, even when it trembles. It is easier to echo the opinions of others, to follow familiar paths, and to accept the world's judgments as our own. But the voice inside you knows what your heart needs, what your soul craves, and what your spirit longs to express. Listening to it is an act of rebellion against doubt, fear, and conformity. It is a declaration that your inner life is worthy of respect, that your feelings are valid, and that your existence matters. To honor your sacred voice is also to speak honestly to yourself. It is to confront your fears, acknowledge your mistakes, and celebrate your victories. It is to remind yourself daily that you are enough, even when the world insists otherwise. Every moment you choose words of compassion for yourself, you strengthen your inner foundation. Every time you speak truth, you build a bridge from your inner world to the outer world, allowing authenticity to shine through in everything you do. And let us not forget that your voice has the power to ripple outward. When you affirm yourself, when you honor your own sacredness, you teach others that they too may honor theirs. Your gentle truths can inspire courage in hearts that have forgotten how to beat freely. Your self-respect becomes a beacon for those who are searching for permission to love themselves. In learning to speak to yourself with reverence, you create a world in which sacred voices are heard, valued, and celebrated. So listen to your own words and let them rise like a song that cannot be silenced. Speak to yourself with the tenderness, courage, and respect that your soul deserves. Guard your voice, nurture it, and let it guide you through every challenge, every triumph, every quiet moment of reflection. Your voice is sacred, and in honoring it, you honor the very essence of your being, and you give yourself the courage to live fully, freely, and unshakably. Every life is a story, and every story has chapters that are both radiant and shadowed. There are pages marked with laughter and triumph, and there are pages stained with pain and regret. Yet every one of these chapters belongs to you, and each one is a testament to your resilience. To embrace your whole story is to recognize that even the moments you wish had never happened have shaped the person you are today. The scars you carry are not blemishes. They are proof that you have lived, that you have survived, and that you have grown. We often spend too much time wishing we could rewrite our past, pretending that mistakes never happened, or denying the parts of ourselves that feel broken. But when you deny the story, you deny the strength that it has given you. Every triumph, every heartbreak, every misstep, and every victory has woven together the fabric of your character. To embrace your whole story is to walk proudly in your own skin, to acknowledge the journey without shame, and to honor the wisdom earned along the way. Your story is not defined by the moments when you stumbled, but by the courage with which you rose again. Every fall has been a teacher, every tear a witness to your capacity for endurance. There is power in remembering the times you felt weak and realizing that you moved forward anyway. There is beauty in looking back and seeing the courage it took to face every challenge. When you embrace your story fully, you no longer need to hide the chapters that were painful or uncertain, for they are as vital as the moments of joy. It is in embracing your whole story that you find compassion for yourself. You begin to see that every choice, even the ones you regret, was made with the tools you had at that time. You forgive yourself for the past, not to forget it, but to honor it as part of your growth. You recognize that perfection is an illusion and that authenticity lies in accepting the messy, complex, human truth of who you are. When you tell your story aloud with all its highs and lows, you reclaim your power and inspire others to honor their journeys as well. And so, look inward with honesty and courage. Celebrate your victories, yes, but also bow in reverence to the struggles that shaped you. Let your scars be reminders of survival, your mistakes be teachers, and your triumphs be proof of endurance. To embrace your whole story is to step into a life of authenticity, courage, and unshakable self-respect. It is to say with unwavering certainty, I am not only the sum of my successes, I am the witness of my growth, the author of my resilience, and the keeper of my soul. There is a quiet power in the word no, a strength that many fear but few fully embrace. Setting boundaries is not an act of anger, selfishness, or separation. It is an act of love. It is a declaration to yourself that your spirit, your time, and your energy are sacred, and that you will not surrender them to what diminishes you. To create boundaries is to honor the value of your own life, to acknowledge that you deserve spaces and relationships that nurture your growth and your peace. For too long, we have been taught to bend, to give endlessly, to sacrifice our own needs for the comfort of others. But in that yielding, we forget the first and most important relationship we must nurture, the one with ourselves. Boundaries are the framework of that relationship. They teach others how to treat us, but more importantly, they teach us how to respect our own worth. Saying no to what drains us is not rejection, it is recognition. Recognition that our time, our energy, and our hearts are not to be taken lightly. Boundaries are not walls built to isolate. They are bridges built with intention, clarity, and courage. They allow us to step away from what harms us so we may step toward what sustains us. They give us the clarity to choose relationships, commitments, and opportunities that uplift, challenge, and enrich us. When you honor your limits, you honor your capacity to love freely, fully, and without resentment. You are not denying others, you are affirming your own humanity. It takes courage to assert what is sacred to you. It takes vulnerability to say no to friends, family, or colleagues who do not respect your space or your heart. But in every moment of assertiveness, in every gentle insistence on your own needs, you cultivate a garden where your spirit can grow. You discover that saying no can open doors to joy, peace, and freedom that you never imagined. Boundaries become acts of liberation, not just for you, but for those who witness your self-respect. And so, remember this truth. Loving yourself requires limits. It requires attention to what nourishes you and distance from what drains you. Every boundary set with honesty and compassion strengthens the roots of your soul. Every time you protect your heart, you teach yourself that your life, your energy, and your dreams are precious. Boundaries are not mere rules. They are declarations of self-worth, daily reminders that you matter, that you are deserving of respect, and that you are the author of your own peace. To live without boundaries is to give pieces of yourself until nothing remains. But to live with boundaries is to live in fullness. It is to move through the world with grace, courage, and clarity. It is to embrace your own love fiercely and unapologetically. And in honoring that love, you not only protect yourself, you inspire everyone around you to honor theirs. Your body is not merely a vessel, it is a sacred temple that carries you through every triumph and every trial. Too often we criticize it, compare it, and forget to honor the miracle of its strength, its resilience, and its beauty. To celebrate your body is to recognize that it has carried you through storms, lifted you when you faltered, and held you steady when life threatened to unravel. Every heartbeat, every breath, every step is a testament to your existence, and it deserves reverence, care, and gratitude. And yet, self-love is not confined to the body alone. Your mind, with its boundless capacity to dream, imagine, and create, must also be cherished. It is the spark that ignites your ideas, the compass that guides your choices, and the archive of your memories and wisdom. To honor your mind is to feed it with knowledge, to challenge it with curiosity, and to soothe it with stillness when the weight of the world becomes too heavy. A celebrated mind is a mind that knows it is worthy of attention, reflection, and growth. Your spirit, the quiet pulse that runs deeper than thought or flesh, is the essence of who you are. It whispers truths that cannot always be spoken. It longs for freedom that cannot be contained, and it calls you toward purpose that cannot be denied. To celebrate your spirit is to honor the unseen, the eternal, the luminous thread that connects you to life, to love, and to the universe itself. It is the spirit that forgives, that hopes, that dares to rise again after every fall. To neglect it is to live a half-life. To nurture it is to live fully. Celebrating your body, mind, and spirit is not a one-time act, nor is it a fleeting indulgence. It is a daily practice, a ritual of self-respect, a conscious choice to treat yourself with the dignity you deserve. It is in the moments when you pause to rest, to nourish, to meditate, to dance, to laugh, and to dream, that you honor the unity of your being. Each act of care, no matter how small, is a declaration that you recognize your worth and your right to thrive. When you honor yourself in this way, you begin to radiate a presence that cannot be ignored. Your energy uplifts others, your strength inspires courage, and your joy becomes contagious. You teach by example that life is meant to be cherished, that bodies are sacred, minds are powerful, and spirits are eternal. To celebrate yourself is to proclaim, without apology, that you are here, fully, completely, and unapologetically. So let every step you take be mindful, every word you speak be gentle, and every breath you draw be grateful. Feed your body, challenge your mind, nurture your spirit, and celebrate the entirety of who you are. In doing so, you step into a life of freedom, purpose, and beauty. You learn that self-love is not selfish. It is the foundation of your existence, the wellspring of your power, and the light by which you illuminate the world. There is a weight we often carry that no one else can see, a burden made of guilt, regret, and self-blame. It sits heavily on our hearts, whispering that we are not enough, that we have failed, that we are undeserving. But tonight, I want to tell you something simple yet profound. Before anyone else can forgive you, before the world can embrace you, you must forgive yourself first. Forgiveness is not a favor, it is a liberation, a letting go of the chains that bind your spirit, and an act of the deepest love. We are taught to measure ourselves against mistakes, to hold on to failures as though they define us. Yet each misstep, each moment of weakness, and every regretful choice is but a chapter in a story that is still being written. To forgive yourself is not to forget, nor is it to excuse what happened. It is to honor your humanity. It is to recognize that you, like all of us, are imperfect, learning, growing, and striving in a world that does not always make room for grace. Forgiveness is the bridge between shame and freedom, and crossing it is the first step toward reclaiming your own life. When you forgive yourself, you open the doors to growth and joy that guilt has long kept closed. You allow yourself to breathe without apology, to hope without hesitation, and to love without condition. Every time you hold on to blame, you rob yourself of presence, of peace, of the beauty that life offers in the here and now. Forgiveness is not weakness, it is courage. It is the courage to face your reflection, to meet your mistakes with honesty, and to say, I am human, and I am worthy of love anyway. Forgiving yourself also transforms the way you move through the world. Once the weight of past regrets is lifted, your energy is no longer scattered in self-punishment. Your mind becomes clear, your heart opens wider, and your spirit finds room to grow. You learn that mistakes are teachers, not sentences, that missteps are lessons, not chains, And in this space of self-compassion, you discover a joy that is not borrowed, a confidence that is unshakable, and a peace that cannot be disturbed by the opinions of others. Let forgiveness become your daily practice, your quiet ritual. Speak to yourself with the gentleness you would give a friend. Release the grudges you hold against your own soul. Let go of the blame that weighs you down, and when you stumble again, as you inevitably will, return to forgiveness, knowing it is not earned, it is yours always, waiting to free you. To forgive yourself is to step into the fullness of your life, to honor your journey, and to open your heart to love, growth, and the endless possibilities that await. There is a spark inside you, small but relentless, a flicker that whispers of possibility, of hope, of dreams yet unspoken. Too often we silence it, telling ourselves that the world is too harsh, that we are not enough, or that our desires are too grand. But to love yourself is to give that spark space to grow into a blazing flame. To love yourself enough to dream is to trust that your soul knows what it is meant to do, even when the world doubts it, even when fear tells you otherwise. Dreams are not frivolous wishes. They are the language of your spirit. They are the expression of your deepest longing, the blueprint of your potential, and the roadmap to the life only you can live. When you honor your dreams, you honor yourself. You say to your heart, I am worthy of more than survival. I am worthy of joy, purpose, and fulfillment. And in that affirmation, the chains of limitation begin to break, and your soul begins to move toward the life it was meant to create. It takes courage to dream, for dreams demand that you step beyond comfort, beyond fear, beyond the approval of others. The world may scoff, friends may doubt, and even your own mind may whisper that your vision is impossible. Yet the act of dreaming itself is an act of self-love. It is saying, I will not shrink, I will not settle, I will honor the fire within me, and I will let it guide me. Every step you take toward your dreams, no matter how small, is a declaration of your worth, a statement that your life is valuable and that your aspirations matter. To love yourself enough to dream also requires patience. Dreams do not always unfold on our schedule. They are fragile at first, needing protection, nurturing, and faith. There will be setbacks, moments of doubt, and times when the path seems invisible. Yet to persist in the pursuit of your dreams is to persist in the practice of self-love. Each challenge becomes a teacher, each delay a chance to strengthen your resilience, and each small victory a reminder of your own power. In honoring your journey, you honor your spirit. When you allow yourself to dream freely, without apology, without fear, without seeking permission, you illuminate the world with your unique brilliance. Your courage inspires others to remember their own long-forgotten dreams. Your determination teaches the value of self-belief, and your fulfillment becomes a living testament that loving yourself is the first step to creating a life of purpose, beauty, and endless possibility. So do not shrink from your own light. Do not silence the voice that calls you toward your destiny. Love yourself enough to dream boldly, to step bravely, and to embrace the unknown with faith in your own worth. When you dream truly and deeply, you honor your life, your spirit, and the boundless potential that resides within you. You prove above all that self-love is not passive. It is the fire that ignites every possibility, the wind that lifts you beyond fear, and the force that shapes the life only you can live. There is a quiet truth, often hidden beneath doubt, comparison, and the endless chatter of the world. You are enough, not someday, not after you achieve, not when someone else finally approves. You are enough right now, exactly as you are. To believe this is to step into the most radical act of self-love, for it challenges the very patterns that have told you for years that your worth is conditional, that your value must be earned, or that your life is not complete until you are someone else's definition of enough. We live in a world that constantly measures us, that ranks us, that asks us to prove ourselves over and over again. We are told that our achievements, our appearance, or our popularity define our significance, and yet the truth remains untouched. The love you seek from others, the approval you chase, the perfection you crave, all of it resides within you already. You do not need permission, and you do not need validation. You are inherently worthy. You are inherently whole. To know that you are enough is to free yourself from the exhausting pursuit of proving your worth. It is to stop shrinking, to stop apologizing for existing, and to embrace the fullness of who you are. Every imperfection, every scar, every mistake is a proof of life lived, of lessons learned, and of resilience that no one can take away. To embrace your enoughness is to look into the mirror and see the truth of your spirit reflected back, a spirit that has survived storms, celebrated joys, and endured through challenges beyond imagination. You are enough when you speak your truth, even when it trembles. You are enough when you rest, when you forgive, when you create, and when you choose love over fear. You are enough when you fail, when you rise again, and when you walk the quiet path of self-discovery that no one else can walk for you. The world may whisper that you need more, that you need to be better, that you need to fix yourself, but the voice inside that says you are enough is louder, stronger, and eternal. To live fully in the knowledge of your enoughness is to live without apology. It is to move through the world with courage, authenticity, and grace. It is to make choices rooted in self-respect rather than fear. When you embrace the truth that you are enough, you become a light for others who have forgotten their own worth. You teach by example that life is not about chasing external validation. It is about honoring the sacred being that resides within, right here, right now. So let this truth settle in your heart and echo in your mind. You are enough. Always have been, always will be. You do not need to earn love, and you do not need to change to be worthy. You are whole, complete, and deserving simply because you exist. Let this knowledge guide your steps, shape your choices, and fill your soul with the unshakable confidence that the most profound, enduring, and revolutionary love you will ever know is the love you give to yourself.